Fade to Black.
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me. It's me. It's Mike Lepre, King Mike Hill. This is Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It's November 18th, 2021. It's Thursday night, 7:07, 2 minutes late. Not bad for us. How you guys doing? How you feeling about the football season? It's already going into week 11. Like, how the hell did we get to week 11 so fast? What happened? Speaking of what happened, Kev, what happened? How did we get to week 11?
No idea, King. It's one of those things. You're waiting for it to start, then you look up and it's halfway done. I'm as shocked as you are.
So speaking of shocking, though, Kev, tonight we have a football show from 7 to 8, and then the basketball show from 8 to 9. And for each show, I'll be wearing a vintage early Mike Lepre early 2000s dress shirt. So this is from like probably 2003. I don't know, something way back like that. And then for basketball, I got one that's probably just as old. So, you know, when you're moving, you find all the old stuff together. It's like all the shirts that were that age are together for some reason. How does that happen?
Well, the funny thing is, I as soon as I saw you, I was like, wow, it's a great looking shirt. So I'm of the same vintage. I'd probably wear that today, which would,
That's what I'm going to say. Maybe I should just give you my wardrobe. And for the record, in case anybody at home is watching, this is a tattoo, not chest hair. That's Brother Ray's department right there. That's a tattoo, not chest hair. Joining us, Master Damas.
I was going to say, I feel like you should unbutton that button a little bit.
No. Nobody wants to see this.
I'm doing great. Here we are, week 11, and I'm finally warming back up. I had two good weeks in a row. Then I kind of did like a little 50-50, 60-40 the rest of the way. Lava Man is back. I absolutely knocked it out the park last week. I don't think I knew how to fucking pick a bad game. And then I went heavy on San Fran with the Rams. I got a huge nose. I absolutely smelt that one, and I called it on Facebook. I said, I actually called the total points in the game scored. I said there'd be 41 points in the game scored, and it was.
Wait, Kev, how did you do last week?
Last week I had a bad Thursday night. I had a couple of prop bets that stunk, and then Sunday I did decently, but I still haven't turned it completely around yet. So M1, I don't think I officially congratulated you on getting hot again. So congratulations. Let's keep it going.
But
Thank you, sir.
But who won on the split is what I'm asking. You or the rest of us?
I don't know. I didn't write them down, so I don't know what you picked.
Well, we're gonna go through them. Well, we're gonna go through them.
I tried. I tried a little misdirection.
I got them right here.
All right, hold on, though. We're going to go through them one at a time. Starting off was the Thursday night matchup. The Ravens played the Dolphins. The Dolphins won 22-10. I didn't get a chance to make this bet. I was dealing with sickness and phlegm. But you guys picked this. Did anybody pick the Dolphins?
I didn't. I don't think so.
I don't think
with my money, I went with the Ravens, but in my spread league, I actually was smart and went with the Dolphins. It was so crazy because I felt the Dolphins and I took them in my spread league, which I won my spread league. And I swear to God, the Dolphins is probably what clinched it for me because I put 15 points on them. Everybody else went the other way. And that's probably why I'm sitting here today, $375 richer. And it ended up like the rest of my week went well. The only two losses that I had was the Patriots with 2 points, and I put 10 points on Atlanta, and I still won the week. But I did take the Dolphins in my spread league.
All right, so this game pretty much proved to me that I was trying to tell Brother Ray, which is weird that I have to tell him, but the Dolphins still have a lot of fight in them, I think. I think things can come together. They've got a lot of really good pieces. If they could just get them to all play together and this defense to tighten up, they're a tough team, the Dolphins. They could be a tough team to play. So I like this win over the Ravens. It proved to me again that I just don't think that Lamar is a Super Bowl quarterback. How about that?
I don't think he can beat a good defense in the playoffs, and I also think that there's a lot of holes on that defense. Sometimes Tua looks good, and then sometimes Tua looks really bad. I'm not really sold on Miami. I think Miami is kind of a tougher place to play. This is the first time that the Ravens have lost to Miami with Lamar. But at the same time, I do think Miami is a sneaky bad team. That's what I would say about Miami.
Kev?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys have said. But one thing that I thought was really funny, I don't know if you guys caught it, on Monday Night Football on the Manning broadcast, they had Phillip Rivers was on for the third or fourth quarter, and obviously it's three pro quarterbacks talking, and Rivers was giving Eli props for the pass he threw in one of the two Super Bowl wins against the Patriots. I think it was a
Second one, yeah.
sluggo route combination. And he actually said out loud, which I was shocked. He's like, the Dolphins zero blitzed
Immensely.
Lamar all game, and not once did he do that. And it was really like, that's kind of shots fired on another pro quarterback. It was basically saying he couldn't read the blitz. The Ravens weren't doing him any favors by getting different route combinations in there, and that's always gonna hurt them. That's been the same story with them every single year. And you guys know me, like, if you have a problem for multiple years that you can't fix on your team, then you're doing something wrong. And it's with Lamar, it's the same exact problem. He can't handle pressure. It's whether he's supposedly a very smart guy, but for some reason when it speeds up with the blitz, he can't make a hot read, and it's the same problem over and over. That's always going to happen for them.
Usually, if you blitz a good QB, they will burn you time and time again. You can't do that because there's always going to be somebody open. And Lamar,
or at least mix them up. You got to mix up the blitzes from now and then. You don't just keep blitzing the whole time. I mean, if you do that, he should know. He should already be on his back foot. All right, second game, guys. Now, Matt, I know for a fact me and you were saying that the Bills would win by much more than they were even favored in this game.
God, I wish I would have followed you with the 20-point alter. I would like to know what they offered for odds, because we did say that. I said I would back that, and we did, and they did, and they lumped them. That's a gold pick. That's a gold pick. When that's a bold statement. When the spread was like 13.5, and we said
21, 20 we'll still take that.
Yeah, yes. You guys got a massive a number on that.
That was, but see, Kev, you went with the Jets, didn't you? Did you not?
Yes, he did.
So I got bamboozled into the Mike White train there.
All right, but yeah, it's the Jets. Like, how did you again? Like, all right, it's me here, Kev. Again, it's Thursday night, and I'm saying to you, Kev, again, it's the Jets. You did it again. You went with the Jets again, and they're the Jets. They're just never going to be favorable to the spread. They're just one of those teams. I can't explain it, man.
I did say that the Jets would be the Jets, too. I said that Mike White would not like the fact that he said he should have been the first overall pick. You can't give locker room trash to other teams and be like, first overall pick, huh? That's what you think you are? We'll see. What do you're like the 7th round pick now, buddy? Like, what are you talking about? Shut up. You had one good game. Smacked them.
Kev,
I see Mike White coming back to earth right about now. I think that's him.
Yeah, he's not even starting. I don't know if you guys saw this yet, but the Jets are starting Flacco this week. So that's how far the Mike White train has gone off the tracks.
I can't believe Flacco starting again. You know what? When you have an arm like that, you'll play forever. It's just his arm. He's got a cannon. You know what I mean?
But the thing is that's also probably like what I was just saying. You can't give other teams motivation. Like, shut up. Yeah. Who are you? You've played one game and then you played a second in another because you're a wimp. Like, toughen up, put some games together, shut your mouth for real. Let your play do the talking.
Moving to Washington. The Buccaneers came to Washington, and I said specifically that Washington is a difficult team for them. They're going to make it difficult for them. That I was the NFC East whisperer, even though I got the Cowboys wrong. I'll admit that.
Yeah, Philly.
But I said it on this one. Like, this one I knew, and I was saying it because I knew it in stone. Because, Kev, the playoff game from last year is not very far removed. What do you think, Kev, of the game?
No, it's true. Washington looked good on both sides of the ball, which was just crazy. Brady looked bad. He threw 2 picks in the first quarter.
One was a tip. I hate those.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so they just started off slow, and they could never get in gear. So I think Washington won by 10, and they were 10-point underdogs, and that's pretty huge. So yeah, the only thing that's terrible about it is you guys probably saw Chase Young is out for the season. He's in torn ACL, so bad news there. But yeah, you had I expected a lot more from Tampa, figuring they had that embarrassing loss before the bye, go through the bye and come out and get stomped. It was not what I expected to happen.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll talk about it on Sunday, but yeah, that Tampa Giants game, I can't wait to get into that one. I have a whole theory on the whole rest of the season for the Giants. Falcons, Cowboys.
Hold on, I would like to talk about the Tampa game.
Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Who was the one who was saying that Tampa Bay isn't what they are? I don't want to muscle against Kevin, but we were 3-1. Ray also went with the Redskins, and I don't want this to be a muscle and Kevin show, but I was saying Tampa Bay should not be giving anybody 10 points. Tampa Bay is not the team we think they are, and they've been ready for this. So it happened.
And Matt, don't worry about it, because if I had I think we had 6 games where it was 3 against 1.
All right.
If I had won 4 or more, I would be giving you guys crap the entire time. So enjoy your.
All right.
I just love you so much. I don't want to do it.
You gotta get down.
And if it was King, kill the King.
Did you just see how high my dog's head is?
Yeah, I assumed he was standing on something.
I'm on a stool. I'm on a bar stool, way up in the air. He just stands up on my leg, and that's how tall he is. He's like 5'6", I think. Okay, they're taking the dog out of here, so he won't be barking like that. Like, dude, he almost blew out the speakers on that one. All right, moving on. Hey, by the way, Washington is going to be a better team in the second half of things. Like, they're going to be an ugly team to play. They're going to be because they got a good defense. It's starting to play better, even though Chase is gone. They're better. They're a better team. They're just a good team. That's what I'm saying, I guess. All right. Falcons to the Cowboys. So I have big issue, I guess, with Matt Ryan, because how do you do a game like this? Like, how do you guys lose a game like this? Like, I know when things start to slip away, sometimes they get like Kev, sometimes like a team will be down by like 10 and then they'll just give in, and now they're down by like 20, and that's just how it ends because they kind of gave up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. And I think Dallas was up like 30 something to 3 at the end of the first half, and like it just got out of control. The second quarter just got out of control, and Atlanta kept it close for the first quarter, and then second quarter I think Dallas scored 21 or 28 points, something insane like that. And you're right, like they just kind of completely gave up. They just had no fight in them. And I had said that I figured Trayvon Diggs would stay on Pitts and kind of neutralize him. And I know that's how Dallas played it. I forgot exactly what Pitts did, but I don't think he had a monster game.
Matt?
You hear me talking about it all the time. I think that a lot of teams like to be able to attack the 3 levels of the defense. And I think Matt Ryan doesn't have the outlets to do that. And I think it's easier to take away what he'd like to do, and that's with Pitts. So tough sledding for Matt Ryan. He's got Mike Davis, who's just regressed so much. Cordarrelle Patterson got injured in that game, and that's a huge weapon. So if you got 2 weapons, and then all of a sudden you go down to 1, who they're going to look at, makes it for a tough day. So I think it was more or less. It sucks, man, right? Because I had 2 losses last week. I told a good friend of mine, he was like, give me a sure bet. I go, Atlanta. He hit me back because he told me he was going to take care of my family for Turkey Day because I've been winning him so much money, and that's really nice of him. And then he's like, Matt, I took the turkey bet. I'm like, okay, it's cool. But I showed him the list of everything else I did. But that's how much I liked Atlanta with the 10 points. I don't know what to think about Julio Jones because it seems like the Knicks are starting to bother him a little bit more. But hey, they won a game that I thought they were going to outright lose. Me and Kev actually took the Saints. You and Brother Ray took Tennessee. But the thing is it was a really good game, close game. Could have went either way. But that's a good quality win over a good quality defense. Trevian Simeon is playing some good ball, probably giving the Saints more of an effort than I would say Jameis did all year long, which is crazy.
Kev, you want to touch on that game quick?
Yeah, I just don't. I didn't hear everything anyone said, but all I want to say is I just don't understand how the Saints move the ball at all. They have no wide receivers. They're on their second string quarterback, and Simeon wasn't even a phenomenal quarterback when he was starting for Denver, and they didn't have Alvin Kamara, and somehow they still managed to move the ball. And it's you got to give a ton of credit to Sean Payton, and they just a very well run team, very well organized, a lot of discipline. So they lost a tough game, but Tennessee. It goes to say a lot about Tennessee and how strong they're coming on.
What you sipping on, genius?
Oh, I got some grape Kool-Aid and a little vodka.
I love it.
I'm going Cuervo and Heineken's, the Christmas one still.
This right here is a chocolate manifesto. It tastes like chocolate, and it's a Mike Tyson punch to your face. It's fucking 10% alcohol. It's so good.
All right, let me get on with this. So we're moving on to.
Sorry, King. Did you see the question in the box over there?
Yeah, I was gonna wait till there's enough of us to answer it.
Oh, okay.
Deonta Foreman or Ernest Johnson? I don't know.
I go with Foreman. I think Foreman's going to take the show, and Johnson might not even play. Chubb's going to be back from COVID, so yeah. I like Chubb this week, big time.
Yeah, exactly. My thoughts exactly. I would go with Foreman and don't look back.
Yeah, look at my answer. I don't know. Look,
the funny thing is, right?
Wait, hold on. Deonta Foreman or Ernest Johnson? And I write, I don't know.
I don't even know if you guys remember.
I am. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure Deonta Foreman was on Houston when they had Lamar Miller, and I cannot believe that guy is number one still in the NFL. I just thought he washed out completely. He's got to be like 4 or 5 year vet, and he always had a lot of potential. He never got a chance, so. I'd love to see him. Kind of cash in on the opportunity here.
Absolutely.
All right.
So, and I think he will.
Let's go over to the Jaguars playing the Colts. Colts won by 6, beating the Jaguars. Jaguars showed more life in this. They're starting to show more life in every game, in my opinion. Kev, what do you think of this game?
No, see, and that's the thing, and they were down, I think. 17-0, and they started coming back, and then they ended up losing 23-17. They covered. I'm pretty sure I had them. But all the stuff you hear about Urban Meyer, like, has he truly lost that team? Like, we're not in the locker room. Reporters aren't in the locker room. Nobody really knows. Now, all of a sudden, they look like they got a little life to them. I think they've won like 2 out of the last 3, something like that. Because they beat Buffalo, then they got slaughtered the next week against Seattle, and then they just won. Then they just covered. So they haven't lost. They haven't won 2 out of the last 3, but they've kept it close. So are they really turning a corner? Like, has he really lost control of that team? I'm starting to think the answer is no. I'm starting to think that they are going to kind of improve, and maybe not. Maybe all is not lost.
Matt, I think they have a bad offensive line, and I think they got to get rid of him as a coach. That's what I think. I just think he look, he's doing okay right now. But he's got such a lot of talent on that team. If you really look at them, that's another team that's got like people that should be like developing and progressing and becoming like stars, and it's just not happening right now. So I just think he needs to go. But Matt, what do you think?
The fact that he can't get Laviska Shenault implemented into the game plan, and the fact that he's got such a good. Not a good defense, but good defensive playmakers on the defense, and he's only got really one good showing out of it with the Buffalo Bills. Granted, it's like baby steps. You know what I mean? we've seen some good games out of them against the Bengals for one half. You're seeing signs of putting it together, then just totally forgetting what page you're on. You know, the college game is not the NFL, and he's learning that right now. And it's funny because there was a clip early on in the season. He's like, wow, every week is like a championship game. That's right. It really is, because you're not just playing a few good players, you know, because every college team has a few good players on one side or this side. You got good players all over the place. So the spaces are smaller. What you can do is smaller. He really needs to learn how to manifest his team and get the most out of them, and he hasn't done that yet. Will he? I don't know. That's a good question. But right now we're seeing signs.
Here's the thing. When college coaches like him, like that have been in college for a long time, and you know they've been good or great, whatever you want to call them, and then they come to the pros.
They know.
When they come to the pros, the economy of them with the players completely changes. It goes from them telling the players, you know, shut up, sit down, you won't play, to whoop, the pro players being like, I'm checking out. Like, I'm not listening to your rah-rah shit. Like, I'm out. That could happen like week 3 with him because they don't want to hear that stuff. Certain players want to hear that stuff, but some people don't. So if the whole team doesn't want that whole college-type coach, it's just one of those things, man. I'm telling you, you're used to always having control, and you come in and you really can't tell people to sit down. They just tell you. That's my issue with a coach like him coming into the pros. I think he's been out coached all year. I think he should be fired. Want to talk about a horrible game? Lions versus the Steelers.
Oof.
It was a tie at 16. I wondered if there was ever a tie at 16 before. Because 16 is 3 field goals and a touchdown each. You know what? If I had tickets to that game, oh my God, I'd probably be asleep by the third quarter. Kev, your thoughts?
So I'm so disappointed Brother Ray is not on the show tonight, because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but and I said it because I know Brother Ray is not a Dan Campbell fan at all. Dan Campbell took over play calling duties from Anthony Lynn before that game. It was an underreported story. I don't even know where I saw it, but it's a fact. And Dan Campbell has never called plays in his entire life at any level.
He's a tight end.
What?
He played tight end.
Exactly. And he's decided that the best thing for the Lions is to relegate Anthony Lynn to, I don't know what he's doing now, but Dan Campbell's calling the plays. So when you look at them, I think they rushed it over 40 times. Because he must have been just somehow trying to get like just low variance, take no risks at all, hoping he could beat the Steelers without Big Ben, and he got stuck with a tie. The guy's got to go. Like that's awful. And like I'm not a huge Anthony Lynn fan. I'm definitely not as a head coach, but he's not a terrible OC. And for him to do this is just absolutely incredible in my opinion.
But what did you think about the mistakes, Matt, in this game? If you saw it towards the end, I'm loud. You hear me? I feel like I'm being echoed. So anyways, Matt, what did you think of this game? I saw a lot of problems with it. I saw a lot of mistakes towards the end. I thought it was ugly. I thought it was a really bad-looking NFL game.
I think the tie hurts the Steelers more than it hurts the Lions, to be honest with you, because, you know, the Steelers should take care of that game. Actually, this is one game I took with you guys and another game I took in the spread league. I took the Lions, but the spread was much higher in my spread league than it was with you guys. But, you know, I felt like the Steelers should have took care of business. They didn't. They let a bad team hang around. You know, Mike Tomlin should be able to muscle through the suck. He's done it time and time again, but it shows that they're still playing for Campbell. Like Brother Ray's been saying, they've been playing for him. They've been playing hard for him. But I'm with Genius Kev. Like, you got to let your, you know, you got people in position in your organization. You gotta let them sink or swim. But I think that, like, he really is wanting to taste victory, and he's in a place where he feels like he has to shake things up. And I think that he probably did something that he shouldn't have done.
I think Dan Campbell's an idiot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And,
I mean-
and like I said, he took over the play calling, and you know how many catches TJ Hawkinson had?
0.
Zero. You know, he only had, I think, he either had 1 target or 3 targets max, and that's your biggest weapon right there. And he basically took him out of the game himself. Like that's just inexcusable.
So that was another one that we a lot of us went with Detroit getting 5.5. And that's another one. Like, I don't know if you remember, but I couldn't explain why I was making that pick. I just was like, they're gonna just stay close. That's the thing with Detroit. I come to the point where it's like, if it's a high spread and it's a weird kind of game, I'm always like, they're gonna hang in this game. Like, that's how I feel about that type of team. I don't think they're gonna win, but you know. All right, going on to the Browns playing the Patriots. This was I think this is this is my
This is the only game that Kevin
third
got
loss.
over all of us.
It was unbelievable. Like, and you know what? I did it to myself because I picked up Mac Jones in my fantasy league and started him on this day. Like, that was like I jinxed myself because all of a sudden he's got like $198 but 3 touchdowns. And Matt, he was doing exactly what I told you on draft night. He just
did.
dropped balls in the spots where other people really can't
That
throw
He
them.
throws such a pretty ball. Oh,
But he's such an ugly passer. Like, up until here, it's all ugly. But then when it leaves his hand, it looks great. Kev?
Yeah, that pass to Kendrick Bourne between the 2 defenders up high was beautiful. I was kind of blown away. But the strangest thing with the Patriots, and like that game is is like a microcosm of the way they play. Like Cleveland on their first drive, right down the field, 6-yard runs, 7-yard runs, gashing them. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what's wrong with the Patriots defense? Like, this is going to be a very long game. Cleveland gets up 7-0 and loses 45-7. It's kind of crazy how from the second drive on they just shut everything down, and then like it almost seemed like Belichick got into Stefanski's head, and then Cleveland's down by 14, and they completely went away from the run. And I was texting with one of my friends, and I'm like, they can't do that. Like, I know that to move the ball quickly you have to pass, but Cleveland's not that kind of offense. Like, they have to run the ball, and once they got away from the run, Patriots just pinned their ears back and just made life miserable for them. And then the last thing I want to say is that last touchdown where with Hoyer kind of leading the Pats right down the field. Like, you can say what you want to say about sportsmanship and everything. I don't know if Belichick should have done that. But that's what they did. And they just like even N'Keal Harry caught a nice pass, and Hoyer threw a touchdown pass to make it from 38-7 to 45-7, which busted the over. So which busted the unders. I mean, so I wasn't thrilled about it. But that team is just firing. Patriots are firing on all cylinders, and I'm more concerned for Cleveland though. Like, is Cleveland regressing? And I'll stop talking there because I want to know your guys' opinion. Is Cleveland falling back?
All right, so I don't like this guy, so I'm not defending him, but I'm giving you a reason. So if you're Baker Mayfield, when you play quarterback, if you can't play to your abilities, sometimes it's best to shut it down when you're the quarterback because the ball's in your hands on every friggin' snap. So if your shoulder hurts to the point where you shouldn't be out there, Baker, you shouldn't be out there. That's just period in the story, and that's the truth. That's what's going on right now. You're watching a kid who's got all these commercials on TV. He lives at the Cleveland Stadium, for Christ's sakes. All this stuff coming down on him, and he's feeling pressure, and he's trying to fight through an injury and be tough. But in today's sports world, being tough gets you nowhere sometimes. You got to know when to shut it down and when not to. He's a quarterback. Shut it down. Matt?
Well, I picked the Browns in this game, and it's crazy, right? Because I'm the biggest Patriots fan there is. And I fell flat on my face, but that's also because I thought the Browns were the dark horse. Now they've been stripped of the lineal championship, and I am on the bandwagon with the Patriots. I figured that Baker would be able to play through the pain. They've been upsetting some really good teams. They've been looking good. But Kevin, one thing, what happened is the Patriots were in the nickel defense on the first drive, and Belichick took over the reins. And that's what I'd like to see from this team this year is not necessarily Mac Jones and what he's doing, but what the defense is putting out there. Because for them to put up 7 points in the very first drive and to skunk them the rest of the game shows you what we're talking about with this Patriots defense. The power is with the defense. They haven't had the limelight yet, but they will. But when it comes to the Browns, I think that Bake is trying to get his payday because they're up in the air on whether or not they should give him the money or not. So he's staying out there. And also, let's not forget, like, we had them in the AFC Championship destined to go against the Chiefs and to maybe represent the AFC. It was the Browns, the Bills, and the Chiefs. So they're looking at that, and they look at their record, and they're just trying to put their best foot forward. And like King said, if you're detrimental to your team because they won with Casey Keenum just the week before or 2 weeks before, you got to put him out there. He's on the team for a reason. He's a serviceable quarterback, but at the same time, I think the Patriots are finding themselves. Sure, they're in a little like window where they should be winning these games, but they're winning them in fashion that I never thought we'd be talking about, and we need to be talking about the Patriots right about now.
Yeah,
agreed. So now moving on, next game.
Wait, sorry, King. Just two very quick things. One, I talked about before the game. Patriots offensive line. I said they were going to look very, very good because we got Trent Brown back. They were just road grading Browns defensive line. And the second thing is Ramondre Stevenson. I think I'm in love with that guy. I may actually start following him around the Foxborough area. Like, he looked unbelievable on Sunday.
How'd you think
he's going to steal that job from Harris? He's going to steal it.
But I'm bummed.
Kev heard my joke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What did you say, King?
He said he loved how he looked, and so I asked him, what did I say?
How do you think he played?
How do you think he played? Never mind. Moving on to greener pastures where I got myself another win. Minnesota going to the Chargers. The Chargers were favored by 3. I love Minnesota, period. Minnesota wins 27-20. I am a big Kirk Cousins fan. 12 TD passes and 0 interceptions in the 5 road games he's played. 12-0, dude. Kirk Cousins just gets it done. Kev.
I picked the Chargers, but I did give myself an out in the beginning. I said I can't pick Minnesota. Whenever I back them, they lose. Whenever I bet against them, they win. Every game is close with them. It's like they're the new Seattle, and I cannot figure that team out because they should be better than they are. And then when they show up and win, I'm on the other side, and then they'll show up and just give one away, and that's when I back them. So I just got to stay away from the Vikings and like accept the fact that Kirk Cousins is probably better than expected. They finally are using Justin Jefferson the way they should. And then I'm also on the other side of the Chargers. I'm tired of hearing about how amazing that team is because it's not. And like Herbert is a great quarterback. I don't think should be in the top 3 conversations like everyone wants to put him. Their defense is falling apart, and I think Brandon Staley is a little too aggressive on 4th downs. So I'll leave it at that.
Matt, what did you think of this game?
Before I want to speak on Herbert. I do think he's worthy of the talk, Kev. I just think that you can have a good QB on a bad team.
Not yet.
I think it's like Dan Marino. Dan Marino was a great quarterback, and he never won anything. But the thing is let's think about how they were last year. They won 3 games, right? This is a lot of the same. We got like excited because we were like, wow, they're making a big jump. No, they're not. And now we know why they were going for it on the 4th downs, because this rookie coach probably knew their discrepancies. He knew they weren't that good, and they needed to put more out on the offensive end because their defense is just trash. Bad.
Yeah, and what I like the way your commentary on Herbert. I think that's more accurate than what I said. Like, I think he's probably up, maybe a little too early to be at the top of the list, but he's on his way up. He does so many things well, but their team just isn't strong enough to bring the best out of him yet. I think I would agree.
He shows promise.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's definitely not top 3 yet. He's got to get there. He's on his. Kid's got a ways to go. All right. The next game would be Carolina going to Arizona. And Carolina, holy Christ, locked the kids up. board up the windows. What the hell happened in this game? Now,
I'll tell you. Hold on. King called.
This
King
is
called
proof
this.
the NFL can have a game that just spins sometimes. It's a bad
Wow.
matchup.
Absolutely, but King said if Cam starts, be prepared because he's going to score, and sure enough, he gets 2 touches, 2 scores. He got 2 TDs, and
That's
and
the
I'll tell
douche
you
factor
right,
right there.
I
I
was
remember
laughing.
saying like that's what he's going to do. Like if they suit him up, they have to play him.
Hold
People
on.
are gonna be cheering him on and all that bullshit. And if he plays, he's gonna score. Like that's
I hate
exactly
you-
what was in my head.
I hate beating the King drum because he said like 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, why doesn't Carolina just bring Cam back? And they did.
Well, because
King,
he's terrible.
are you working for Carolina?
Yeah.
He sells tickets. Like that's what I'm thinking in my head. That's why I'm saying they should go with him. That's the only reason.
And you
I don't
know
think
what?
he's good.
There's something about love and a fan favorite and actually a team favorite. He is an icon down there. So once you bring him in there and everyone's like, damn, Sam Bradford sucks. There's one thing that Cam will do that Sam Bradford just is horrible at. Cam's not going to turn the ball over. Even with last year with the Patriots, he didn't really put out too many touchdowns, but he didn't give the ball away. You can't give the ball away in this league. He doesn't do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
The thing that
And nope. Kev.
got me like just I can't wrap my head around is week before I forgot who Arizona played. Pretty big game. Murray was out. DeAndre Hopkins was out. Colt McCoy looked great. I was like anti Carolina, anti Arizona. It's like there's no way they're going to pull this off. The team is built around Murray. Blah 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 blah. I was wrong there. This week I'm like, you know what? You guys convinced me. Arizona's fine with Colt McCoy. They should be okay. Carolina's not that strong. Sam Darnold's out. PJ Walker's going to be in. Arizona should have this game. And then all of a sudden, Carolina spanks them. And maybe it's what everyone said. King, what you said, getting Cam Newton back just brought the energy level up so high because there's no denying that guy is a humongous presence, very charismatic, lots of energy in the locker room, all that stuff. And maybe he's going to be what it takes to wake them up because Darnold's on IR. He's done for the year. So it's going to be the Cam show going forward.
So
And,
technically, Kev, on the way we do our see how I want like mayhem points or this douchebag points, we should have had something for quarterbacks coming back home points. Because they always perform well when they come back home on that first game. It's like the team that they played with their whole careers, they come back. It's even basketball. They come back to have that one great game. All right, question says, should I start Dan Arnold or Rob Gronkowski since he's back?
It's Rob Gronkowski all day, every day. Right now, Tom needs somebody that he can go to that he knows, and that's what he's going to do. He's what he did a lot early in the year. He's going to soak up Rob. I would even go for 1 or 2 touchdowns in this game with Rob Gronkowski. Swear to God.
Kev, let me ask you something. How is it that Gronkowski can still produce at the level that he's producing? Is it that he's just such a physical freak that in certain plays, because he only runs like a certain set of routes, in certain plays, you just can't out Gronk him. Like you can't get higher or bigger or stronger than him at that one point of impact, I guess.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
You nailed it. He when he was younger, he would be able to do that every play the whole season. He can now turn it on when he needs to turn it on. It's limited. It's limited burst, and it works perfectly in Tampa because they have so many other weapons. If Gronk was the only weapon down there, he'd fizzle out.
I'm so glad that you said that, Kevin, because that's really where I was going with it. Like Gronk is going to have one-on-one coverage because of the outlets. I mean, all the other weapons that he has, and that's why Tom's going to utilize him. With Dan Arnold, he's not going to be really that much of an option, but Tom's going to look for Gronk towards the end zone. So that's the reason, and you hit the nail on the head.
That's like third down, red zone. That's what he's going to
own. All right, moving right along. We went to now. First of all, again, that Panther score was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. All right, so here comes another one. I had a hard time with this one myself because I liked. I always go against the Eagles. I mean, that's just no shocker there. But the Eagles won 30-13. Again, the Broncos I don't know who they are, man. I got to be honest. In 5-5 is such a perfect record for a team like this. God only knows who they are. I don't know. I don't think they're very good, but I didn't expect this. And even Devonta Smith, he was the first Philadelphia rookie with 2 receiving TDs in a game since 2014. So kudos to him. He's still behind Waddle. Kev.
No, like you said, like it's tough to tell who the Broncos are because previously they just manhandled the Cowboys, had a great offensive game against Dallas, shut down the Dallas offense, and they're riding high. Then Philly comes to town, and Philly basically does the same thing they did to Dallas to them. Now, Philly's kind of an interesting team because I think they're getting better. I think they're gelling. I think Hurts is has games where he looks pretty good. Like this game, he was 16 of 23, 178 yards, 2 TDs, 55 yards rushing. And their ground game is really, really good right now. They had 160. They had over 210 yards rushing against the Broncos defense. And it makes them a very attractive team. Like they're like when they're playing anything less than an elite team, you got to consider betting them because they're coming along very good on offense, and their defense is okay as long as their line is healthy. They can handle most offenses. So I think you got to keep looking at betting Philly.
Matt,
I said long ago that I love Jalen Hurts. I compare him to Pat Mahomes. This was his best representation of what I called Pat Mahomes. Like, if you go back and you look at the throws that he made in this game, it was such high upside and confidence.
I hate to interrupt you. Would you like to retract that statement, though, that he's going to be as good as Patty Mahomes?
No, not at all.
Come on,
Not
really?
at all.
Even at this point, you can't tell he's not going to be as good?
No, this is he only played like 3-4 games of last year, and those were like hit or miss. He's now starting to feel. Listen, right? I don't really. I've said it time and time again in this show, where I don't really care how you look until you feel comfortable in the offense or knowing what you're doing, and that's why the Patriots don't really put out players until they know the playbook, know where they should be. You don't know where you are. You're not playing N'Keal Harry. I think N'Keal Harry's going to have a great second half of this year because he's starting to know. Well, I think he will. I don't want to touch on the Patriots offense and this and that, but what I'm trying to say is this was huge for his confidence. And if you go back, and I put up a video on my Facebook of all the throws he made in that Denver game, he is feeling himself, and that's all you need to do, and it will be something to build on. And I do believe once you start respecting his arm, he's going to run on you like he did. He ran that ball, and he wasn't trying to tuck it. That guy made a good wrap-up tackle. He was going for the end zone. And I like Jalen Hurts. I don't have it with me, but I got a nice card on the side of me. so I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts is a baller.
Kev?
No, I said it. I think I'm coming around to Hurts. Like I said, I just think Philly as a team, they got their rushing attack is deadly now, and they're getting Miles Sanders back. So I think you got to look at them as unless they're playing someone elite, I think you got to look at betting on them.
Run heavy, number 1 in the league, and I think for the second half of this year, they're going to be the number 1 run team. So if you can get your hands on Sanders, Howard, you do that because they're going to be running.
All right, guys. Next game, Seattle went to Green Bay. The Packers were favored by 3. This is one of those games where I was claiming that Rodgers would just be a douche and win this big. I really did. That's exactly kind of what I said. And Kev, what I was trying to tell you on the other show was there was actually a point during the broadcast of the game where they cut to Rodgers on the bench.
Oh.
And he was like this. And I'm not joking. He was upset about something. I'm like, oh, if only Kev saw that. That one part right there, he's like, oh, that's the douche face. It was immediate, and there it was. And I'll tell you what, if you piss Rodgers off and you make him go to war over other stuff, he's going to win a game. I think they should pick on him every week, and I'll just keep betting the Packers. What are your thoughts?
You go ahead.
I can't believe Seattle got skunked, but Green Bay's defense, they put up a really nice game with Jordan Love against KC. They held them to 14 points. We got to be talking about Green Bay's defense, right? Now you got Aaron Jones being injured. Here we go. Best college running back, BC boy, A.J. Dillon. I think that he presents more challenges than Aaron Jones does. Aaron Jones might be shifty, but we seen what A.J. Dillon could do with Jones being out. I think that the Packers are, and I agree with King, like there's some people like myself, when I was playing football, my coach knew I'm kind of always like happy-go-lucky. He would poke me to get the dick out of me and to get me to play at my best. That's what good leadership does. And I swear there's definitely something to do it where Aaron Rodgers is kind of floating around in space, and sometimes it brings him back to attack mode. And I would be doing the same damn thing because I think the Packers now, if they could keep doing what they're doing right now, they're going to be the team in the NFC. I don't see the Buccaneers as being that team, and I told you that the Rams were going to get killed by the 49ers.
Yeah, leadership's big.
Leadership's big, but at the same time, this league is wide open right now. Wide open.
Hey, Kev, you played high school sports with me. Did I need to be poked to be a dick?
Yeah, it came naturally to you.
I knew that was going to be the answer because it's the truth. It's the truth, Matt.
But poking you did help, a little extra gear.
All right, Kev. I wish we could tell. I used to push Kevin the small of the back. Like if he boxed me out, he hated that more than life itself because he was mad that the refs weren't catching it.
Yeah.
And he'd get more mad at me, and it would just build him up. Oh, I used to love it. I wait for the last second, and I would just push him in the small of the back like this.
It'd be like going up to
fire, and I grab the rebound.
It wasn't even see the best thing about it, which I'll give you credit for. It wasn't an obvious push.
No, it wasn't hard at all.
It wasn't getting moved like 2 feet. I was getting moved like maybe 3-4 inches.
Just enough for you to go.
Just enough. So that and
I grab it from you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kev. All right. So go ahead. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I'll. You guys hit the Green Bay side. The Seattle side, I was very, very disappointed in Russell Westbrook's return. Maybe he came back game too early. Maybe he should have sat out another one because it was cold. He had a hand problem. And those two things don't really go together well. The Seattle. I don't think Seattle's as good as they think they are. The defense isn't that amazing, but they did hold Green Bay to 17, and it was kind of a boring game. But I was disappointed that Russell Wilson couldn't get anything going at all, for that offense. I think the whole thing with what's his name, DK Metcalf getting kicked out and then coming back, trying to come back in. I thought that was a bad look. But so I was very disappointed in Seattle. Good win for Green Bay. They need the wins. They're kind of rolling along. Like Emma said, they could be the class of the NFC. A lot of times it's all over.
So, all right. So here comes another game that I was also on the right side of. It was the Chiefs going to the Raiders. The Chiefs were favored by 2.5. In my exact words, I think we're the Chiefs. I'm waiting for the Chiefs to be the Chiefs and just beat up on the Raiders.
And they did.
And they did. Matt, what did you think of this game?
I was waiting for this game all week. I didn't have a very successful 1 o'clock. Came back with the Chiefs and another team and hit a parlay, but I also Chiefs were late night. I took the Chiefs in the over. I just felt it. I felt like they and luckily the over ended up hitting late night. But this right here was basically Vegas giving you a little gimme. Like we were talking about it. I don't think that the Raiders are kind of what they were to start the year. They don't have enough to keep up with the Chiefs, but I don't believe the Chiefs have corrected the ship. I just think that they picked on a weak Raiders team.
Exactly.
And I think that the spread this week with Dallas is another gimme on the opposite end. I think Dallas pushes them around the ring. But it's a good sign to see out of KC, but that's all I'm going to give it.
Kev?
Yeah, agree with everything everyone said. I think it was I think I bet the Raiders. Actually, I know I did, but I think I was stupid because a team can only handle so much chaos, and I think like the Gruden thing and the Henry Ruggs thing, I think it's all accumulating, and I think the Raiders could be in for a very difficult second half of the season. So that's all I'll say there. And I also agree that I don't think Kansas City is fixed. I think they had a good game against a lesser opponent.
But they needed that. You need that sometimes. You need to beat up on a weak team to get yourself going again.
Yep.
For the record, gentlemen, I had a lot of right games this week. Again, I had a lot of prop bets that if people would have took and just listened to my ranting, that would have hit. Like, so this is now 4 out of 5 weeks that I'm running on this. I'm in a really high percentile. Each one of us has, let me put it this way. We're all right around the same 60 to 70, maybe a little higher in some percentile, which is ridiculous. But on top of that, we've all had weeks where we were just completely lights out.
Yeah.
Period. Just lights out. Like, so it's been like, it's like, I feel like the last 4, like I said, last 4 out of 5, I've been banging away. But like within those 4 out of 5, even prior to those, Kev, I know you had one week that was just crushed. And Matt, you had like a couple in a row to start the season. So it's weird. We gotta figure out why we're disagreeing on certain games and try to get that friggin' together, Kev, to get you to agree with us on some stuff.
That's it. Because if we could figure out how to convince each other and sell our arguments better, you know, it would be. I'd rather all of us capitalize on the hot weeks. And M1 and I started doing that because like when I'm hot, you know, he'll defer to me a little bit. When he's hot, I defer to him, and it's worked out pretty well. But yeah, that's what we have to do. Why
don't you listen to me then? Why don't you just take all my picks and bet them as a goof?
Because you wear that shirt.
I don't want this shirt. What the frig are you talking about?
You got a fantasy football question, and you also got Brother Ray.
You guys are hypocritical. You're hypocritical. Brother Ray, question for you. Hurts or Kyler, Stevenson or Murray, Pitts or Gronk, Shepard or Claypool, or Jarvis or Kirk?
Wow. You know what? I'd probably say Kyler may not play this week, so don't get too crazy. Make sure you check. He's probably going to be a game time decision. If he does play, I would go with Kyler because Kyler has been really successful against the Seahawks. And right now, Philly is running the ball. Other than Devonta Smith, no one's getting the ball. They're running all over everybody. So I would go Kyler if he plays. As far as Stevenson or Murray shouldn't be in anybody's lineup. Let's be honest with Baltimore right now. I would take Stevenson even as the number 2 tonight because he'll probably get at least a touchdown. Murray, I don't understand the fascination with Murray, to be honest with you. Pitts or Gronk? I mean, I don't think there's any question there. It's got to be Pitts. I don't even know if Gronk is playing for sure. Is he?
No, he is. He's healthy. And I disagree with you, Ray, because there's only one weapon, and we know about Bill Belichick. He'll take the one weapon away. I don't know where the Patriots are when it comes to defending tight ends, but it's either 1 or 2 in the league. I don't expect Pitts to have that great of a game tonight.
He's going to get targeted.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He will.
There are very few targets there, so I think he is going to get the targets. You're right. Bill, whenever Bill talks about somebody in a press conference and gushes over him, like he did Pitts, I think he said
like he did Hebert.
Yeah, I think he said Pitts was the love child of Julio Jones and Tony Gonzalez. He actually said that.
He said that?
That's
amazing.
Yeah. I like Pitts.
Me too.
Until I see Gronk 100% back, then I would go with Gronk.
You're right. You're right.
Shepard is not playing, as far as I know. He is not going to be active. Claypool may play. Then it's Jarvis Landry, still not 100% healthy. I might actually go with Kirk in this scenario because he's going to be the only probably serviceable wide receiver out of that group right there.
And just to add on to the Zechariah's Aviation channel, we're going to figure out what time your show is, and then we're going to ask you a 6-part question. And I hope you can answer all 6 freaking parts of the question you ask. Most people just ask us, who should I start? And they give us 1 or 2 names. You went through your whole lineup. You're welcome.
They love us.
Brother Ray, woman last game. Rams, 49ers. Rams went into Frisco. I'll be honest, didn't see it coming. Gut smack. Frisco won 31-10. Ray, what did you think? First of all, Garoppolo is 5-0 against the Rams. Right.
First of all, what time did this show start at 7 tonight?
Yeah. 5.
We don't send out a memo? Where's the memo?
This is football still, Ray. Basketball's at 8.
I thought we did 8 to 9. We were doing 8 to 9, and never mind.
You're
all right.
old, Ray. That was an old moment.
All right, okay. I don't understand.
All right. What do you think of that game, Rams 49ers?
Totally a big surprise, I think, for everybody involved. I don't think anyone expected the Rams to come out like that. I thought for sure McVay would get the better of Shanahan. Everyone knows how I feel about Shanahan. It was disappointing if you were a Rams fan. The 49ers finally got their run game going. Mitchell is the real deal. I know he's been banged up. He's dealing with a broken finger this week, so we're not sure if he's going to be out there or not. But they got the running game going, and the defense completely stifled the Rams. The Rams need to look in the mirror right now. They made a big move picking up OBJ. And we've seen what happened to other teams that had OBJ. Giants, Browns, look where they are now. The Rams are taking a big shot right now. I mean, with very few draft picks in the next couple of years, taking on a player like that and maybe stunting the growth of someone like Van Jefferson, who's just ready to explode. And I was right about him. He's the one that you want to grab right now, not OBJ. But I got to give Shanahan credit. They came out and did what they had to do, and I got to give Jimmy G credit because he came out and I said that was going to be his last game. He proved me wrong. I'm sure he watched the show. I'm sure it fired him up, and now he played great.
Kev, thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Rams, like Brother Ray said, have to really look at themselves in the mirror. I think they're in trouble. They got embarrassed. This is second time this season. And one thing with McVay that I don't understand is he's a brilliant offensive mind, but when he gets figured out, it takes him a very long time to change things up. Like what the Patriots did to them in the Super Bowl, it took him a full season to solve that and get back on top offensively. And now their offense is not producing the way the way you would expect it to. And I have Stafford. I think Stafford is hurt. I think something's wrong with him, and I'm a little concerned there. So I think the Rams have to do a little bit of soul searching. And I think the 49ers, the arrow is trending up. I don't think this win means they're going to be a top 3 or 4 team in the NFC, but they're starting to play better. Garoppolo looks pretty good. He's had a couple of good games in a row. He's not throwing the ball a ton. And Deebo Samuel has been a beast. He didn't have he had 36 rushing yards and 120. Not 120. Another 100 receiving yards, a couple touchdowns. I mean, he had a monster game. And so the San Francisco was figuring out how to get the ball into the hands of their playmakers. And I think if they can get Brandon Ayuk on track, that'll help a lot. They got George Kittle back. The running backs look pretty good. So I think you got to keep an eye on San Francisco, and I think LA could be a little bit of trouble when they play teams with smart coaches.
Kev, I think Stafford's just Stafford. That's what you're seeing wrong with him, and I think McVay doesn't quite get it. His soup commercial is horrendous. You don't scream at somebody after you serve them hot soup. You don't scream at them. They'll spill the soup. Matt, what are your thoughts on the game?
As you just seen, I was beating my own chest. I told you guys that I was going down on the ship with San Fran. I did. I called it. I called the numbers, the points that would be scored in this game. I knew San Fran would have their number. They've had their number. And you always got to take into account that they had their back against the wall. They needed this game way more than the Rams did. Where this game was lost was that bomb to OBJ. I was on my Facebook page and I was going, you want to keep going to OBJ, it's going to cost you. They're not in cohesion. They don't know each other yet. You can't just put somebody in the offense and expect them to pay dividends. You can't give the ball away, not in the NFL. And Jimmy G looked good, and he's playing with probably the best wide receiver in the NFL this year with Deebo. They have a lot of things working for them. Now they're in the NFC West that is very open. Kyle is injured. Matt Stafford is injured. He did not look good against the Tennessee Titans. His back is messed up. The door is open. Look out. The 49ers are back. and there is a chance.
Raymond Stevenson, correct? On the question.
Yeah, there's no question. They hate Mike Davis. The Falcons absolutely hate Mike Davis, and it's the proof is in the pudding. They hate the man. In fact, you'll probably see Wayne Gallman get more carries, and maybe even Quadri Olson, who's going to be active for tonight, who I thought was the best running back on the roster before the season even started. I would go with Stevenson. He's going to be number 2 tonight, but again, he'll probably get a touchdown, and he probably will have a decent game. Definitely better than Davis, who the Falcons hate Mike Davis.
Kev,
What
what's the
happens
spread
tonight?
Kev, what's the spread?
7.
It dropped to
7:47.
But
Seven.
this is why Brother Ray is the Morpheus of fantasy football. I didn't even know who Quadri Wilson was, or Quadri Davis, Quadri, whoever you just said.
Quadri
Quadri
Olson.
Olson. Until right now, and you thought he was the most talented back on their roster before the season started. This is the first time I've ever heard the guy's name, and it's week 11. So that's why
Well,
he's more.
Kev,
Well,
what do you
let's
think
get on
he's
to the next
doing when
game.
he's going to see like his aunt's brother's cousin's nephew play soccer?
Yeah.
He's
He's
just
actually-
staying home in the zone, just zoning in
Yeah.
on guys' names and stuff. But next year's draft,
Yeah.
Guys, I got to run because we got to put some money in. What do we
All right,
think
what's
about
your
tonight's game? Before we go,
what's your pick?
my prop bet of the night right now, first touchdown, I put $64 to win $640. Hunter Henry will score the first touchdown of this game. The Patriots are kind of like the way I played Madden. Bill likes to make sure he scores first, get the upper hand. Their touchdown guy in the red zone to make sure things are sweet is Hunter Henry. Look for him to score the first touchdown of the game. Promise you that.
So you like? Who do you like tonight? Who do you like tonight?
I like the Patriots and the over.
-7 and over 47. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go with the Patriots in the over. Although I will say their defense is the story. The Patriots'
Yep.
defense has been the story right so far this season, and they could stop Ryan. But Jonnu Smith is active, though. I will say that, Matt, and that would be the perfect way to Belichick the goon your bet is to have Jonnu Smith catch the first touchdown.
Kevin, you'd like to go next?
Yeah, I tailed M1 on the Hunter Henry first touchdown. I love that bet. I did Patriots and the under. Patriots first half is -3.5. If it were -3, I'd probably be all over that. I don't want to, I don't want to lay that extra half point though. But 7 is a lot of points, and it could be a 4-point game, could be a 3-point game. We're all in the Patriots wagon right now because of what they've done the last couple of weeks. But 7 is a lot of points.
It's right where it should be. That 7 is right where it should be.
So here's my pick. I'm going to go with the Falcons +7 and the over. And I'm even going to tell you this one. On short rest, the Patriots are so set up for a letdown game tonight against this team that got humiliated. The Falcons got humiliated. I think Pitt scores the first 2 touchdowns. How about that? All right? I'll call that.
The
First 2
Patriots
touchdowns
do
to
not.
Kyle Pitt. Falcons win the
Patriots-
game outright. Take the Falcons and the over.
The Patriots do not allow for letdowns. They reload and they reset. And they're playing against a bad team. They love
rookie
how they're
QB.
feeling. Listen, they heard about Tom Brady, and this is Bill Belichick, right? Bill Belichick seen what Tom did last year. Now he's got his team. His team has found their footing. They're not going to let up. And we've seen them with Tom, and Tom's just another quarterback. I'm not saying he's just another quarterback, but we know the team that the Patriots are. They do not let the foot off the gas. They're going to keep scoring. They have the biggest, highest point differential in the game, and they're also scoring 33 points a game. That's the highest in the league. They got the highest point differential in the league, and they're scoring 33 points in a game since
All right.
week 2.
Really quick, Ray, can you answer that question?
Yeah, better option. Starting both Harris and Stevenson, or sitting both. He has Darrell Williams.
Fido with Hilaire, who's on IR.
Yeah, he's still not playing this week, I believe. Howard, Bateman, and Pollard as options. It's a complicated question. I would
I got to run.
I would start Harris. Harris is going to get the rock tonight. Atlanta, not that good against the run. I like Darrell Williams too, man. If you're in a PPR league, I probably would trot him out there. Bateman is going to do well because Hollywood's probably out. And Howard's been money, so I don't know why you would take Howard out. Well, Miles is coming back, but you know Howard's still going to get the ball. I don't know. I would. Harris is going to get the rock tonight. He should do well. He's the number one option. I would probably go with him.
It's full PPR.
Yeah.
Full PPR. Darrell Williams is catching like 8 balls a game. I'd probably go with Darrell Williams.
Yeah, I'd go. Williams would be one, definitely. And then the rest are kind of all equal. But go ahead, King.
Gonna wrap it up. Get the basketball show coming up next. Stay tuned. It'll probably be a 3-minute change. I'm telling you, for Sunday, I'm gonna say to you guys, that's just the NFL. That's because the Falcons are gonna win outright tonight. I'm telling you, it's just these teams. There's no dominant teams anymore. They always have these little like stutter steps. So, for Mastradamus, Mr. Never Left, who actually did leave, Brother Ray, the Genius Kev, it's me, Mike Lepre. Stay tuned for legit fantasy basketball. I'll have on another early 2000 dress shirt. Thank you, guys. See you in a bit for basketball, and we